Hey everybody, welcome back to what I guess you could say is my favorite poker room. We're back in the Pure Hold'em poker room that we go to do some channel update vlogs for this channel. So there are a couple things to discuss. One of which is I'm going to be informing you guys about a decision that I have made in regards to at least one playthrough on this channel that is going to be canceled. And in fact, the parts that are up for it are going to be deleted. Just a reminder, this is not the first time this has happened on this channel. For those of you who have perhaps not been around on my channel all that long, a long time ago, I did a full playthrough of one of my favorite Sony exclusive games, Infamous. I love the Infamous series. I've wanted to do playthroughs for a long time. I did a full playthrough of the first Infamous game. And then I had to cancel it and remove the playthrough from the channel because for some odd reason at the time, Sucker Punch decided not to include audio options in the game, which meant I couldn't adjust the volume of the music in the game, and therefore I started getting copyright notices on multiple videos in the playthrough because of the music. Also, some of the cutscenes in the game started to get copyright notices. It became a big copyright hassle, so I ended up canceling the playthrough and removed all the videos of the playthrough from the channel. If my hope is that someday they are going to actually remaster those games, perhaps maybe for the PS4. It might be a little late at this point. Maybe for the PS5, since that has now been revealed and announced. Who knows? Here's hoping. I just find it funny that some games have been remastered, and yet the Sucker Punch games have not. You know? Why haven't the Sly Cooper and Infamous games not gotten remasters? I don't know. It's very odd to me. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because due to recent events, I am officially going to be canceling the playthrough of The Last of Us. So I should probably elaborate on this. There's a couple of reasons why. I have no motivation to play the game. I said this before, at least I think I said this before, I was never that fond of The Last of Us to begin with in the first place because, forgive me, but I like to enjoy what I play. I like to have fun with what I play. If I'm not having fun and am instead experiencing something that is basically, well, depressing, it's gonna, I'm gonna feel it, and I'm not gonna be having fun. And especially now, maybe on my own, that's a separate thing. But from this seat right here, this perspective of a content creator, of someone who is trying to create entertaining content for you to watch and enjoy, I need to be able to enjoy what I'm doing in order to be able to to make it more entertaining for you to watch. If I'm enjoying it, then I hope it translates to you enjoying it more so. And because of this, I mean, it's a couple of things. One, Last of Us is a survival horror game. I've never been fond of survival horror games in general. I've never been someone who's a fan of the Resident Evil series, for an example, as to that genre, just because it's not a genre I enjoy. I don't like the whole, you have to manage all this stuff, and it's tense and scary. Forgive me, I don't like getting scared, and, I don't like tense situations like that. It's not something I really have fun with and enjoy. With that being said, The Last of Us is a game that I can look at and recognize that it's an excellent game for what it is, but not be someone who enjoys it because, well, here's the thing, guys. We're all different people. Not everyone enjoys the same thing not everyone is going to enjoy what everyone else enjoys. That's how we are. We're humans. We're all different. We all have our own different preferences. We all enjoy different things. We all dislike different things. One person who loves something is not going to enjoy what another person likes. And while they may like it, someone else may dislike it. That's how we are. And that's a good thing. So I'm not saying that I dislike The Last of Us. What I'm saying is that it's not a game or a series that I enjoy because for one thing, the gameplay for me is not fun because I don't enjoy that type of gameplay. And two, it's just so dark and depressing. And forgive me, but I don't enjoy things that are incredibly dark and depressing. It's not something that is very appealing to me or very enjoyable for me. And as I said, I need to enjoy what I'm doing or playing if I'm going to actually try and translate it into entertaining content for you guys to watch. So, because of things like this, and because I basically have zero motivation to return to it, and it's not just that, it's also due to recent events, recent things where, I'm just going to be kind of blatant with you guys. I've been hearing and seeing the things about The Last of Us Part 2. And don't worry, I'm not going to spoil things. If you're actually wanting to go through it and experience it yourself, I won't spoil it here. But based on what I have learned about, because I did, I looked up the stuff, I spoiled myself, I didn't care. As I said, I wasn't really that excited or interested. And my concerns were correct, it seems. Based on the things that I have learned about The Last of Us Part 2, my interest in it has diminished even more so. I basically no longer care about that series, since basically, well, I'm going to stop because I don't want to get too into it because that involves spoilers. But anyways, it also has something to do with, I found kind of funny in terms of a comparison to another game which I love, which I can understand why, but it has to do with just to give you a hint, it has to do with Metal Gear Solid 2. But anyways, yeah. Based on the things that I have learned about the sequel, I have no motivation to return to The Last of Us, and therefore I'm going to be canceling that playthrough, and probably once this video is up, I will be deleting all, it's about, 6 or 7 parts that are up on the channel right now. I will be deleting those videos not too long after. I did relook at the videos on the channel and the comments. There was somebody who asked if I was going to finish it, and I told them yes, I would. At the time, I meant that. So to that person, I apologize, but things have changed. Times have changed. More revelations have happened. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this way about, the series. I know there are other people that don't enjoy the depressing, dark nature of The Last of Us. Even though it's good, it's still incredibly dark and depressing, which I know I'm not the only one who doesn't really enjoy that. But it also brings up something that I heard. I don't know how true this is, but I saw it in a comment. There was a comment I saw somebody posted in one of the videos where somebody was discussing the game. The comment said something along the lines of, it's off the top of my head here, it was about Naughty Dog's apparent stance on this. I believe the comment said something along the lines of, the word fun was never brought into consideration by Naughty Dog while they were developing the game. They did not want you to enjoy their game. They made a game just to make people feel bad, and they are proud of that. I don't know how true that actually is. I haven't looked it up. I haven't checked any, done any fact checking or anything on this. This is speculation on my part. If that is true, that speaks volumes to me about the current direction and mindset of Naughty Dog, or at least this particular development team. I don't know if this is the same team of people that worked on the Uncharted games. It is Naughty Dog, but at the same time, we have to remind ourselves that sometimes just because they have the company name doesn't mean it's the exact same people that worked on it. The people who worked on the Mass Effect series are not the same people who worked on the Dragon Age series, just as an example. There are companies that have multiple teams, that one team will work on this game while another team will work on this game. So I don't know if this is the same group of people that worked on the Uncharted games, but if this is the direction this team is going with The Last of Us, then it's a series I no longer have any interest in. And, I guess speaking of which, I do at some point plan to return to The Last of Us Part 4. I do keep saying that. The Last of Us Part 4, sorry. Uncharted 4 is what I meant to say. I do plan to return to that. I've just been more invested and interested in doing things, playing other things, especially on PC. And it's also partly because of my new setup here where, due to the new positioning of my equipment, especially my TV, let's just say that now, with my current setup, I have to look up a little higher from where my mic is. Therefore, when I have to do something on PS4 or record something on PS4, let's just say the back of my neck starts to hurt a bit. So, I'm possibly going to be looking into getting some kind of stand for my mic where I can be able to reposition it so I can actually be able to lay back a bit more, so that way it's not as much of a strain on my neck to look up at the TV in here to be able to record off PS4. So that's kind of the idea that's part of the reason why you probably have not seen that much from my PS4 than a couple of videos like the Overwatch video I did recently. I also did want to address a couple of others playthroughs. Black Flag will return at some point. Dishonored 2 will return at some point as well. I think I started that back when it came out in 2016. I still haven't finished it. In fact, I was planning on doing a second playthrough where we played as Corvo, and I went full high chaos. Plus, the DLC came out, and I still haven't played that DLC. The one where you play as Billy Lurk and Dowd and deal with the Outsider. Yeah, so I keep telling myself I'm going to return to these and just keep putting them off. Mass Effect Andromeda, at some point that'll come back. Shadow of War, I'll eventually get going on that. I mentioned Uncharted 4. Okay, there's a few other things here I want to mention, and it has to do with a decision I am pondering, and I would like some feedback on this, perhaps. I am considering retiring my PS3 from use on this channel for playthroughs, which is a blow to a few playthroughs that are still in progress. In particular, the Mass Effect 2 Renegade playthrough, the Sly Cooper 2 Band of Thieves playthrough, which also includes the other Sly Cooper games, because like I said, those games are still on the PS3 and have not been remastered for the PS4. If they were remastered for the PS4, it wouldn't be an issue, because I could just, and, yeah. Also, Fallout. As I said at the beginning, there was no timetable for Fallout. That was just going to be something I messed around with. I'm like 40-something parts into that. And I haven't gone back to it. See, here's the thing, though. If I retire using my PS3 for this channel, and if you're wondering, it's more so from a technical standpoint, I still haven't refigured out how to fix the audio. But at the same time, I'm looking at my PS3, I'm just like, gosh, do I really want to go back and play on that? Especially because, it's just so much easier and more fun from a technical standpoint to play with my PS4. Plus, with the PS5 coming out, I probably need to switch this out for the PS5, the problem of retiring the PS3 from use for playthroughs on the channel, though, is that it means there would be a problem in terms of those playthroughs that have been on hiatus. such as the Sly Cooper games. I wouldn't be able to do them because they're not on PS4. It's possible I could stream them on my PS4 because of the feature that they have here on the PS4, which is the PS Now app, which is a streaming service. It's also a subscription thing. You have to pay, like, I think it's $10 a month for you to stream PS3 games on your PS4, which I find hysterical that this is how you can play some games on your PS4, but yet they haven't had versions of them come out for the PS4. But anyways, I guess it's another way for them to try and utilize the subscription method. I don't know. Now, for the other ones I mentioned, it's not that big of a problem because, as you guys know, all the Mass Effect games are on PC. So I could continue it off my PC. The issue is that things would look and feel different from then on because I don't have that much data and save files on the PC version of Mass Effect, the Mass Effect franchise, compared to on my PS3. Like, I have multiple characters and save files on PS3, as well as a number of other, digital, rewards and things. Plus, I've got decisions, like, saved on there. I have bonuses saved on there. Mass Effect 2, on the PC, I really don't. I've played through the first game once on PC. I was replaying it to get to level 60, and was going to then play through the other two games. So I could. It's just going to be kind of awkward for me from the point of trying to set it up and get it ready for viewing and trying to get to that point where we were in the playthrough. Also, it's probably going to be a little awkward for you seeing the differences and such. But anyways, it's also possible I may have some technical issues on that regard. So, as for Fallout, the thing is, I can't seem to get Fallout 3 to actually run on my PC. I have it. I have the Fallout games on Steam, but when I try to run Fallout 3 on my PC, it says it's unable to run because apparently it requires an older Windows software to run. And I don't think I've ever figured out how to get Fallout 3 to actually run on this PC that I have, which still uses Windows 8.1. I've yet to upgrade to Windows 10 because the last time I did that, when it was first out, I had a huge shutdown issue. It was like just all I had was a black screen, and I couldn't get the PC to actually boot up properly and run. It was a nightmare, and it made me feel like I never want to go to Windows 10 ever again. I think at some point I'll eventually have to do that, but I'm hoping by then issues will be improved or fixed upon. But anyways, so unless someone can help me figure out how to get get Fallout 3 to run on my PC, like what the secret is to get it to actually run it, because I know it's possible. I see people playing Fallout 3 on their PC, and I'm just like, how did they get that to work when I can't? So, if someone can help me figure that out, in the comments, that'd be appreciated, especially if you have experience actually playing Fallout 3 on the PC and know what issue I'm referring to. I obviously expect more Warcraft content on the channel. I have been trying to finish up my playthrough for Warcraft 3 Reforged. I also have the playthrough for the Night Elf Demon Hunter, the BFA Alliance playthrough, going through Coltyrus and all that. That has finished recording. I have, gotten to the finale of BFA with that character, so that playthrough is finished being recorded and is saved up and ready to upload the rest of it. So that will be getting uploaded as time goes on. I have to finish up the Starter Zones playthrough because, well, the clock is ticking, and I don't know how different things will be. The soloing dungeon series, that could probably still be done, but we'll have to wait and see on that. There was also there are some other games that people have asked and requested that if I'm going to do them, and I keep telling them I will at some point. Like, for example, Spider-Man on PS4. I intend, to actually do it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Heck, I haven't even finished the game yet. I'm in the third act. I just haven't actually taken the time to finish the game and then get ready to start it up and record it. But at the same time, do I really want to start that up when there are these playthroughs that are still unfinished, right? It's one of the reasons why I keep putting off Middle-earth Shadow of War, even though I have part 1 up, because, well, I should finish those other playthroughs before I start some other ones. I keep telling myself I'm going to do this, and I keep putting it off, so let me know if that is something you're still interested in, especially now that they've announced the sequel coming out, Miles Morales. Looking forward to seeing that. Which also brings me to something else. And I've kind of gone back and forth on this. The Horizon. I've played and beaten Horizon Zero Dawn. I loved that game. Pretty great. The thing is, that game had a lot of open world content, a lot of running around, a lot of let's go do this, let's go do that, let's go do this. A lot of that open world, non-story relevant, gameplay content, which is fine from someone just playing by themselves offline, because I enjoyed that. But from a playthrough, entertaining content creation standpoint, it made it feel like, okay, how would I do this, in a playthrough and all that, it'd be kind of like, okay, I could do this, but this and this is like, I'd have to really figure that out. Especially also because they announced the sequel at the PS5 reveal event, which I'm very excited about. Cannot wait to see that sequel. Do you guys want me to do a playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn? Is that something you'd want to see? Because I will consider it if I see people asking for it. Trying to think if there's any others that I've thought about or considered. Nothing else is really coming to mind. I did take notes of the playthroughs on my library to remind myself which ones to discuss about actually finishing. So, also, by the way, I know that May has now been added to Heroes of the Storm. I probably will still do a video of that. The thing is, guys, I've actually been deliberating, stopping making Heroes of the Storm content on this channel because my love of the game has been dwindling in recent times. I've been loving the game less and less and having less and less fun with it as changes have been happening that I don't really like. I don't necessarily like the direction the game seems to be going. Also, the community seems to be getting worse based on my interactions. It seems like anytime I log in to play to get some dailies done, I always encounter some toxic players. I've actually been having more fun playing Overwatch recently than I have Heroes of the Storm. And I actually consider just stop making Heroes of the Storm content. But for now, I think I'm still okay with doing it. I think that might be all I want to discuss. If there's anything else you guys want to discuss, if you had any other questions about what I had talked about, if you're sad to hear that the Last of Us playthrough is getting canceled and removed from the channel, I'm sorry, but it was something I had been considering already, but with the the revelation and knowledge about what is going on with the sequel, it basically confirmed it in my mind that I was for one thing, there was no way I was going to do a playthrough of that at some point, even though I basically was already making that decision ahead of time. But it takes away also that motivation to play the first one, because knowing what I know now, why would I bother playing or caring about the first one? And I know I'm not the only one who's having this reaction. You can look up some other reactions people are having to The Last of Us Part 2. It's not good. And let me take a moment here to call out some of the quote-unquote professional journalists, gaming journalists out there. In particular IGN. How dare you blatantly lie to people in your review of the game and then giving it a 10 out of 10, calling it a masterpiece. You giving that to the first game, okay, that's understandable, because that was an excellent game. But for you to do the same thing to the sequel, where now basically everyone else, who's not having to kiss someone's butt and report to somebody like you guys do, are being honest and telling you the problems with this game and the basic, wrongful false promotion of the game, which I can understand, which leads me to, I guess comes back to that thing I mentioned about Metal Gear Solid 2. I get what they're saying, but at the same time, that's a different circumstance and not nearly as bad as this. And I would elaborate, but again, that has to do with spoilers. So, yeah, if you guys know what I'm referring to, I get it, but I don't quite agree with the comparison to Metal Gear Solid 2. Plus, I actually like Metal Gear Solid 2. That was an excellent game. Plus, it also had some strange revelations and made the world of Metal Gear Solid much bigger than it was in the first game. And plus, there were things that were revealed to you that just had no explanation until you got to 3 and 4, and then it just made so much more sense, and it was just like, oh, that you look back at 2, and all of a sudden it just made so much more sense. So, but that's a whole separate discussion about the Metal Gear games, which if Konami ever lets up on those copyright, strikes and notices, that, then perhaps someday you would actually see me do playthroughs of those games, because I've always wanted to do the Metal Gear Solid games. You guys can see Part 1 is on this channel. And it's the only one on this channel because it's the only one that didn't get copyrighted. Because all I did was play the debriefing tapes of Campbell talking to Snake. And that's it. And they didn't copyright that, thank goodness. But everything else I've tried, copyright, 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 copyright. If Konami ever lets up on that, maybe you'll eventually actually see playthroughs of those games on this channel. But until then, I would still like to keep my channel copyright free. As to this moment, I still do not have copyright notices on any of my videos at the moment, and I'd like to keep it that way. So, with that discussion, I will see you guys next time.